Alright guys, welcome back to some guy that you don't know on YouTube has decided to talk about this game. And today, our game is Forewarned. Now, I want to start this off with, I really like this game, and I did not complete the achievements recently. I did this a while ago, and I just want to talk about it since I'm making videos for this. Forewarned, or, as we call it, Pharophobia, since this is nearly Phasmophobia, this one is about dealing with mummies and cursed tombs and, Magi, if you want to use the correct term. The gameplay is very similar to Phasmophobia. If you like Phasmophobia, this is the best competitor that I can name for Phasmophobia. And since Phasmophobia doesn't have achievements, and might never have achievements, this is my chance to talk about a horror game. We'll see how this goes. Forewarned, essentially, the gameplay loop is like, you go to a map, you take all your tools and you go down into a tomb, you loot the tomb, you poke around, you try to determine what Magi it is. Similar to Phasmophobia, you're hunting for evidence. And if you can figure it out, you can open the inner tomb and steal the relic. Now, before I start talking about the relic, I want to point out that every time you play this game, the tomb is procedurally generated, and you can and will get lost in these tombs, especially if you play on pretty much anything that's not the lowest level tomb or the smallest. And this game, on the hardest settings you can put it on, is quite challenging to collect the evidence and get out without dying. It could be tough. So your inevitable goal, next, not your inevitable goal, I'll get to that in a second. Your main goal used to be get the relic and get out. So you have to figure out which Magi it is, because if you guess wrong on the door, you won't like what happens. But you get to the door, you guess correctly because you've done the evidence, you've collected all of the facts, and you try to take the relic. And the minute you pick that up, the Magi becomes physical, and it essentially becomes a minotaur in the maze. And it will kill you. And right now, I think there were 5 different ones. And if you don't know which one you're dealing with and it somehow gets loose, like if you guess the door wrong, you are going to die. Because by the time you figure out which one it is, it's killed you. So it's really your best shot, is you don't guess wrong. So what you want to do is you want to get the relic and get out. Once you get the relic, your goal is to find a blue lever that spawned on this level on the map, and it spawns in a random area. You don't know where it'll be. You have to go find it, and these levels are procedural, so have fun with that. You got to do that while the mummy's roaming around trying to kill you. So normally, the goal is to get the relic and leave. But in the recent update, they added a new stage where you take the relic and you collect some stuff in the tomb, like the burial jars, and then you go to a new area and you do a banishment ritual, which I'm not going to say is difficult. It's really not very difficult at all. But if you don't know what you're doing, or you're a scaredy cat, it can be quite hard to actually get it done. So when it comes to the achievements, here's what I want to point out. These achievements are not difficult, except for one. There's one that's actually hard because it's a grind. The other ones are only hard if you're a chicken. If you are afraid of this game, that's what makes these hard, because it's a horror game. So essentially, the first round of achievements I want to mention are that you have to collect each relic individually, which means you have to beat the game at least that many times and get the relic and leave, which the first few times we played it turned out to be kind of difficult since everyone was afraid or we didn't know what was happening. The next group is probably to specifically banish each of the mummies, and that's new, so I don't want to go into too many details about what banishes them and what doesn't banish them, but you have to do each one specifically on top of doing, the standard game. So you have to do the extended game, which again, this is a horror game and it's really only challenging if you're afraid of it. And after that, it's really, you have to collect the artifacts, pretty much every artifact, and these only spawn on maps randomly. And that's not really a big deal since there are 14 in total, but they don't spawn very often, and it can be hard to get them to show up. And if you die with it, well, you don't get it. So someone's got to actually leave with it, and you have to survive. But really, what it amounts to as the most difficult achievement, it's to collect 100 lore pages. There are a few, I think 4 total achievements for the lore pages, but they amount to collecting 100, and that takes quite a while to do. If I had to give you a suggestion, it would be to do the lore pages and artifacts kind of at the same time. And I was playing this game solo when I did this, but I would load up the small map and I would go hit the computer at the main table and see if it tells me if there's an artifact or lore page on the map, and if there wasn't, just turn around and leave. If it doesn't have what you need, just leave, restart it, do it again. Leave, restart it, do it again. And I just did that a lot. That's really all it amounts to. I don't know if playing on a large map has a higher chance of getting stuff or has a lower chance of getting stuff. I'm not your guy for that. I didn't even research before I did this video. I just started talking into a mic. So be my guest. If you know, leave a comment. It'll be useful. But is this game hard? No. This game is only hard if you're afraid of it. And that's very possible that you're afraid of it. Because it is good at being scary. I really like it for how scary it is. I do have a VR headset, and I've played this in VR, and it is a different monster in VR. It is certainly more terrifying in VR. This and Phasmophobia are both about the same. Actually, maybe I'm more afraid of Phasmophobia, but in this, things are actively trying to kill you a lot. So it can really mess you up, especially if you have PvP enabled and you have players trying to kill you in this one. That could be much harder to keep your wits about you. But anyway, this is Forewarned. I really love this game. I don't care what the price is on this one. I think this one was worth it, and I've absolutely got my money out of this. I want to see what they do going forward, because the banishment update's really interesting. And yeah, I think you should try this, especially if this, you know what? I don't care what this game is worth. You should get it. It's fun. If you like Phasmophobia, you like this game. End statement. This is the best Phasmophobia, like, secondary game that I could name. And I don't think it's fair to this one to point to Phasmophobia, but it's clearly inspired by it. So this is the Phasmo competitor. This is as good as Phasmophobia to me. I just want to see what they do going forward. And I wanted to make a video on it because I like this game so much. But anyway, this has been me talking about achievements again. I don't know what to call these videos. The title could change. We'll see. I'm still making this up. Leave a like on the video. I like saying that. I feel like a YouTuber now. That's fun. Leaving likes, that's helpful. Do that, please. You can comment if you want. Tell me when I say something wrong, because I promise you, I didn't edit this very much. I probably didn't edit this at all, in fact. I'm just spitting facts out off my head. So, anyway, like and subscribe, boy. See you next time.